Welcome back to the University of New Haven's Business Analytics Department series on the R language and working within the RStudio environment. In this video, we are going to alter vectors. In the previous video, we created vectors, we added data to the vectors. Now we're going to change them around and not only add stuff, but combine multiple vectors. So as you can see in the upper left window, the scripting window, we have our code from the previous video where we've created our vectors as well as called some various descriptive statistics on them. So the first thing I want to do is combine these two vectors. As you can see, just to go over, we have a graduate vector which has a series of 10 names, and then a salaries vector which has a series of 10 salaries. So we're going to combine these two vectors so each name is associated with a specific salary. So to get started, we're going to go to the console window and we're going to type or call the function names. We're going to hit enter and we're going to type salaries into that parameter and then also graduates. And what that's going to do is put the parameter graduates on top of the salaries vector. So that's going to line them up. We hit enter. And now let's see what the salaries does. We type salaries, we hit enter. And then now we see that each name has an associated number attached to it. Now, just like in the previous vector video, we discussed how to find a specific value within a vector, looking at a specific array slot. So we're going to do the same right here. We're going to go to salaries, and let's look at slot 3. Hit enter, and we see Diane, and Diane's at 65 or 65,000 as her salary. We can also do the inverse of this. So we can call the salaries vector, open the brackets, and put her name specifically. So say we want Diane, we open quotes, type her name, and then it will go in and look for Diane and then return us her name as well as her specific salary. Okay, so we have two combined vectors, but what if we want to add a new object to those vectors? How can we do that? All right, for the sake of identity purposes, let's just create a whole new vector. So we're going to call this grads instead of graduates, and that's going to equals, we call the creation function, C, open parentheses. Inside, we're going to type graduates because we want to include the graduates vector, comma, and then we're going to create with C, say Dr. Kakin. Remember, use parentheses. And we're going to hit enter. All right, now let's check out the variables menu. Check out grads, and you can see that it's added a new slot. It's no longer 10, it's 11. All right, now let's add her salary. So let's call this new salary. It equals, we call the creation function, C, open parentheses, and we're going to call the salaries vector, and we're going to create a salary of 500 and hit enter, and we're going to see new salary created in the variable window. So what we did was we created two new vectors with an addition of a new object in each of those vectors. And you can see them once again in the variable window, and we want to just identify the differences between the originals and our new version. So now let's combine those vectors. And I encourage you to pause the video and try to do that yourself before I show you. All right, so I hope you gave it a shot and tried to combine the two vectors by yourself. But as you can see in this line in the console, I went ahead and wrote the command. We're going to put the grads vector into the new salary vector, and they're going to line up. We hit enter, and we have everything lined up. So let's double check, make sure we have Dr. Kakin now in the vector, and we do. Thanks again for checking out the video. Feel free to click the link below to the University of New Haven's Business Analytics Department's website, where there are additional scripts and videos to help you get started in R.